All right. Yeah, I'm back. There's Monday. So there's Monday's video. I made it Sunday. Snowing outside. Right now it isn't snowing that heavy. We're supposed to get anywhere from like 5 to 10 inches. So that's nice. It's nice when you're at home and you can open the windows and watch it snow. Okay, there's a little bit of control there. So I have uh, the ability to sit here and watch it. Well, if when I'm at work, all I got to think about is, how bad is it going to be until I get home? I don't have no control over that until I get out on the road and I start driving. And then I have some control, uh, depending on how fast I go or how slow I go or whatever. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about uh, controlling things that we have the ability to control, and then there's things that we don't, and how we can get. I mean, I know in the past I would let anything that I could not control just irritate me to where I would be in a rage. I would be so angry and worked up about it because I can't control it. And over time, with working on myself, I have come to a point where, yeah, I do get angry about shit. I bullshit, okay? Incompetence in others and just complete stupidity does really irritate me. And in some instances, I can control that. Like, say, at work, when I'm working on something, okay, I have to grind castings. So I got to stand there and I got to grind castings. And some of these castings are big. Some of these castings weigh 40, 50 pounds, and I got to grind them. And we have what is called a gate on the casting. Now, a gate is when they have the mold and they have these holes and they pour in these holes and there's gate. It's the gate to where the liquid metal goes into the casting and forms the casting. So certain castings, well, they heat treat a lot of these castings. So what happens then is when they heat treat them, they become very hard. And if you leave gate on about that big, that can be a real pain in the butt when you're grinding it because you're going to have to be out here grinding like this. So I've had a number of, well, for a while, I've had problems with these guys who just don't want to cut the gate. And all they got to do is they got to set it down and they got to push it, where I got to stand up and grind it. Okay. And in the past, I was more apt to be pissed off and just in a rage. And yeah, if I get some to where they messed up and they didn't, and I had some of that on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, that really irritates me. But these were castings that they have done that they could not get around to cutting those gates shorter. But we got most of them to where they had to recut them. And my boss, uh, is going to keep up on that. And if they're having a problem and they're being lazy, he's going to get on them, and they're not going to be lazy. So there's an ability to control something. Okay, my temper. I can control my temper when I catch myself, and I'm catching myself a lot quicker these days than in the past. In the past, I would continue to be angry because I felt like I deserved to be angry. But one of the things that I'm trying to be is more stoic. Okay. And you have to just get to a point where some of this stuff you're not going to be able to, do anything about until, okay, taxes. And there are people that will argue for taxes, which, as far as I'm concerned, you're mentally ill. But taxes, taking it out of my check, and I'm not owning my property because I got to pay property tax, i.e., rent. So I don't, yeah, that irritates me, but I don't have any control over that. I got to pay it. Okay. So you just kind of got to let stuff go. But there are things in your life that you can control. I said your temper. You can control your temper. If you're, say, you have friends and these friends, you got to go out every Friday or every Saturday and you got to drink and you're getting drunk and you're really like getting like, man, I don't know, man, I don't like this. We've been doing this and it's the same old thing. You can say goodbye to your friends. Sure, they're going to get pissed off. Okay. I don't have friends because, you know, I got rid of some of them. Now, in the past, I was that guy who wanted to drink and wanted to party all the time because when I was younger and I was in school, I couldn't. I was not allowed to have friends. And when I finally got friends and I started partying, after like 2 years, it was over. And I was like, well, man, come on now. We go to party. And they were like, no, they did it all their life, pretty much. They did it from being a teenager, 14 years old, 13, maybe 12. And they were partying all that time. And they were like, okay, we're done. Where me, I had to hold on to that because I thought I needed that. While I had to control, and I did not, you could say, exercise that control to where I said, I don't need that either. And for years, my goal on like weekends was just to drink as much as possible. Okay. That's complete stupidity. Now, I still drink beer, but it's not compared to how it was. But yeah, you have to learn if you're having a problem, you have to learn, okay, to figure out what can I control and what I can't. Now, I can like say you have a job that you don't like, okay? And you go, well, I don't like this job. And you have the ability, say, to maybe take a course online or maybe at night. Maybe you go to, say, a vocational school and you learn a trade. Okay, you have that ability. Maybe you have the money to do that. If you don't, well, there's things online. Now, yes, there's money involved, but there are also free resources like YouTube. If you can learn enough, you can, of course, there again, you're going to have money. So if you have enough money, you can buy these platforms like Canva or an autoresponder. And, you know, there's some uh, platforms that are an all-in-one where you not only have your autoresponder, but you have your funnel builder and you have an email and all that within it. Now, yeah, you're going to have to pay like 90 to 100 bucks, a month. Now, there's some that are like, no, all you got to do is pay like, $30 and that's lifetime. It's like, okay, but you know what I'm saying? You got to look for ways with some of this, you got to look for ways where you can control it. You're never going to be able to control if you don't like this, but you're able to get away from that by learning this, then you can control this because eventually you're going to be over here and you're not going to be over there. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Uh, you know, I had a washer. I still have a washer, a smart washer, not very smart, very restrictive. You gotta, make sure you put the wash in the right way. If you don't put now this one here that I have, I never tried putting the detergent in on top of the wash. I always put it on the bottom and then I put the wash on top of that because my other washer, if you put the detergent on top of the wash, then it didn't wash the clothes because it sensed that. Now that's what do they call that? Well, I'm not going to use that word. Very restrictive. Uh, but anyway, this washer, I would have problems where if I put it on another cycle or I want to clean the washer and I turn it to clean washer and put in I use CLR. It's calcium lime rust. It that way it cleaned everything out really good. After a while, it didn't want to do that. Another thing, it did not want to. Eventually, it got to a point where it would not go through the load completely. It would, if I do two loads, it would seem to be all right, and then the third load it wouldn't, or the second load it wouldn't. And finally, one day I came in from doing something outside. It was the summertime, and I saw my washer blinking red. Well, here it did not go through the last spin cycle. So I pressed the button to stop it, and it didn't stop. And the door was broken. Well, the door wasn't broken yet, but the door was locked, and I couldn't unlock it. It was just now I could have unplugged it, but I thought, no, I'm not going to because I was getting really tired of this washer playing games. So I broke the door. The lock's broken. Now, what it does is it washes the clothes. And then what I do is I will personally rinse it and I will squeeze it out using I have one of them industrial wash buckets. So I will put it in the little squeezer they got, and I will squeeze it out dry. Well, I'll squeeze most of the water out, and then I'll hang it up. So I found a way around it. I have a way to control that, and that has been working for me great. I mean, sure, you got to put work in, but I don't care. I don't have a problem. If I have to do more work in order to make my life better and not mess with some crap, I'm going to do that. So there's an example. Okay. Uh, but yeah, um, if there are things in life that you can't control and that maybe they're driving you nuts, look around, find ways of maybe having something to where you can work on that and eventually get out of that. Now, like I said with the taxes, that's going to have to be a movement of the people to where they finally are tired of having their checks, the money stolen out of their checks and paying rent to a government and not owning their property. When they finally wake up to that, which I don't know. I don't know how that's going to be. I mean, I try to spread the word on certain platforms and they they don't like that sometimes. Uh but with that, you just got to suck it up and deal with it, okay? I mean, snow. Now, it's like I said, we're supposed to get anywhere from 5 to 10 inches. I'm going to have to go out here and shovel the walk. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I like that. Okay. Uh, but, you know, if you don't like that, that's just something you can't control unless you hire maybe a kid in the neighborhood to come down and do the shoveling. But I'm going to just tell you this: you shovel, that's a good exercise. Uh, you ought to just get out there and shovel it, just little by little. That's if we're getting a lot of snow that I know we're supposed to get like maybe 20 inches or more. You know, I'm out there during the day. If I'm at home and I'm shoveling, I'm keeping the walk that I don't go out when I can barely open the door. But anyway, uh, yeah, uh, it's a sense of picking your battles. Uh, let me take a look over here. Uh, yeah, I do have some notes. Okay, thoughts, actions, and your thoughts and your actions. Now, you can't control someone else's thoughts and their actions. You know, I have a way about me. I'm not, I'm not someone who really takes any crap from people. So if you know me, uh, you can soon figure out that I'm not going to take it. Okay, now there are some people, and I do deal with one guy who's a passive aggressive. He does all this stuff that is just childish and weak for some, and he's around my age. He's, I think, maybe a year older than me, and he acts that way. But, and I can't really control that. So what do? I ignore him. I don't hang around him. I don't have any interactions with this guy unless I absolutely have to. So I can control it to a point. But the threat's always there, and that I'm never going to be able to control unless I have the power, which won't be good for him because I'm really not a passive aggressive type. Okay, I believe that if I got a problem with you, it's going to be a face to face thing. And if we got more of a problem, we got to step outside. Okay. But with him, I can't control that because it's at work and they got the rules and stuff, and you got to follow them rules. Okay. So you're not going to be able to control their opinions. You're not going to be able to control their actions. I did get into stuff where I kind of, yeah, narcissistic people. If you really push back against them and they can't really, you know, get to you, they kind of calm down for a little bit, but then it always comes back. So in that way, you can maybe control it for a short period of time, and then you're going to have to maybe, throw something at them. The next time it's like I told you to stay away from me. But anyway, back in the day, you could do that. Well, the the place where I worked, the original owner said, if you got a problem with somebody and it needs to come down to a fight, you go outside and you fight, and then you come back to work. Okay? That, to me, is how it should be all the time. But we got a lot of snowflakes. We got a lot of people that just like, whining and moaning and, they just want to start stuff and it's like, okay. So I can't control that. Neither can you. So the best thing to do is with people like that is just avoid them as much as possible. And if you can't, don't give them any crap back. If they give it to you, just go, okay, whatever. There we go. Thanks. I appreciate that. Do you want me to pat you on the back for that? I don't. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. Uh, Now, like I say always, I do have a call to action. There is a system that I am with called Funnel Freedom, and it's a free course where you can learn affiliate marketing and you can build a 14, uh, yeah, now, now I lost track of what I wanted to say. Four, 14 different streams of income in this system. So there is a 15th, and that is Tube Buddy. Tube Buddy is what you use with YouTube. It'll give you keywords and it'll show your algorithm and stuff like that. It's pretty good. I use it. What the heck's that? That brightness. It wasn't always that bright. I don't know. The sun didn't come out, but I don't know. There we go. Yeah, it got really bright out there. It ain't that bright. But anyway, it's a system, funnel freedom, and 14 different streams of income. You can either buy the system that they have. Okay, there's a full course, Freedom Breakthrough 3.0. Now that one there, from what I understand, it costs like about what, 3 grand maybe. So if you don't want to if you don't want to pay that, it has 135 different lessons in it though. But and it also has freedom Funnel Freedom IO, which would be a $97 a month, where you can set the whole system up inside that. Okay, no, I did everything manually. But anyway, there's a free course, and with that, you can learn, you know, enough on your own. And if you're, technical, I mean, you can even buy that and watch some YouTube videos if you know how to do that. If you know how to do it, there you go. You already know how to do it. So, but anyway, uh, I'm going to put a link in the description for that free course. And if you're interested, and I'm not saying go ahead and buy it, I give everybody freedom. Okay. This channel, the other channel I have, Dave's Home Gym, I don't ask people to subscribe and to like. I'm not like that. I believe in freedom. You have the ability to decide for yourself. There, you can make that choice. Okay, that you can control. And for me to sit here and go, why don't you like and subscribe? I was looking at my subscribers as opposed to my views, and it's like, here's my subscribers and here's my views. And I'm looking at the guys, it's like, so you got what, 400,000 subscribers? And I got 140 over on my other channel. I'm fine with that. It's growing. Okay. So no, I am not going to be like that. I'm not going to be a hard sell. I don't know, tough guy. Hey, if you don't buy this course, I don't think you want to do anything. I think you just want to sit there, and I think you just want to, Andrew Tate. You're all a bunch of losers. You're pathetic. I mean, give me a break. If you want me to buy something, show me some respect. And that's what I'm going to do, show you respect. But if you're interested, that link will be in that description. Click on it and check it out. Okay? And until next time, and there I go again. I can't end it. And I'll see you tomorrow.